Yeah, I see him in there. Up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Authors Quill. I hope everyone's having a great afternoon, morning, evening, or whatever you are on our beautiful planet. I know for my friends on the other side of the world, it's Sunday, so happy, jolly Sunday to y'all. It's wee hours on a Sunday right now. For my friends down in Ozzy, I hope y'all are having a good Sunday. Here it's Saturday where I live. Matter of fact, it's about 3:12 p.m. on the Gulf Coast of the United States, and it's sunny and pretty with a breeze of about 74 degrees blowing. It's about 50 tonight. It's very comfortable. Yes. That's why we like the South. It sucks in the summertime, but the rest of the time, it's thumbs up. So anyway, welcome to Authors Quill. We got a couple of promos, and we'll be back with our guests in just a few minutes. So just hang out, listen to some promos, and we'll see you in about 3-4 minutes.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation. I come, it's cold and losing my control.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fierster, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Well, everyone, welcome back to the Authors Quill. That's just a handful of shows on the network that y'all can go check out. All of them are good. We have a lot of good shows. Currently, we're running 38 live shows with about 44 hosts, not including syndicated. We're at 106 shows now. I can't even tell you, it's over 100,000 hours of archives you can listen to. It's insane amount. Matter of fact, on SoundCloud, I think we have 16,000 archives just there alone. On the Google thing, before Google decided not to take anymore, we've got 72,000 archives on Google. So, yeah, Google had done this thing where they were going to do all the podcasts and keep them forever, but they were going to make like their own archive for everything. It got so big so fast, they were like, okay, that's enough of that. And, you know, when we started doing video, it really takes up a lot more space. So welcome everyone to Authors Quill. John, how you doing, babe?
I'm doing great.
You're looking
forward
good.
to a great show today. We're going all the way to Australia today.
Yes. Oh, you know how I love them Aussies, man.
Thomas Slee. Yeah.
You know how I love them Aussies, man. Last Aussie was bad. I don't know. You sure you're letting this guy come up here, man? I mean,
No, you're the one.
Oh wait, no, you ain't blaming me for that.
He was the young babe in arms. You were like,
oh, he was. Welcome, Thomas. How you doing,
Thomas.
Man?
Morning, evening. What time is it over there?
It's afternoon for me. It's early afternoon for John. Probably lunchtime.
1:15 for me, 3:15 for Joe in the afternoon.
Yeah.
For you, it's what time?
Nice. 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I said earlier when we were doing, because we have a big audience in Australia. I was like, it's got to be like in the wee hours on Sunday over there, man. It's I always love though, because it's always time traveling when we're talking to someone.
Yeah, I'm in the future.
I just wish we could figure them Powerball numbers out, man. Like I'd be willing to split it, man. I got a couple friends live down there that I talk to fairly regular, and I'm like, yo, I got to figure it out. It's got to be a way here. But anyway, welcome to the show. It's Slee. Like, am I saying it right? How you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, Slee is fine. Yeah. It's,
when I seen it, I got to be honest. I thought Slee Stack, man. So I was like, I'm gonna have to ask him about this. That's one of those from. It's a lizard man from Lost Worlds, is what it is. He's like, don't call me a lizard man.
No, it's an old English surname.
It's a cool name though.
One of my relatives did some digging, and apparently it either comes from one of my relatives was either a sleigh maker or he was a thief, and so they would have called him like
maybe it was a combination.
And
maybe he's making sleighs to get away
with the years.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a cool name. I like unusual names because there's lots of like Smith and Jacksons and all sorts of names like that when I was a kid growing up, a lot of people I met all had the same last name. I was like, wow, am I at some backwoods place I didn't never heard of or something? What's going on here? It's so it's always nice to meet people with original names. It really is. It's what's that, Christopher? No, we're live until 5 o'clock. Yeah. So if you got any questions, you can get them once we get going. So Thomas, what got you? I mean, when did you decide? Okay, I'm gonna do some writing. I'm talented. I'm gifted. I'm good looking. I'm just curious.
So I guess I think probably the first thing I ever wrote was like a Dinotopia fan fiction.
Yeah.
When I was like 4, I like drew some terrible dinosaurs and tried to write my own dinosaur stories. I think I wrote some Warhammer 40k stuff when I was a teenager, and then I kind of stopped for about 15 years and only did technical writing, so essays at university and reports at work. And then during the pandemic, I'd always had ideas, and then during the pandemic we got locked inside for months at a time. I didn't really have anything else to do, so I started writing again. I created, my parents and I and my girlfriend's dad and my brother and cousin and a couple of friends, we had like a writing group where we'd catch up on Zoom just as a way to keep in touch when we couldn't see each other, and that's kind of still going, kind of not as regular as it once was, but yeah. So like my dad's written a couple of novels, I've written a novel, my mum's writing a memoir, my girlfriend's dad writes scripts, my brother is a playwright and director and sound and lighting guy, and yeah.
Well, that's a gifted bunch there. Well, no, that's a gifted bunch. I'll be putting y'all's own movies together in the future. It's
one thing that's a plus is that both our guests say Thomas, and then we also will have Michael Kuester coming on in an hour, our first place winners. So they've obviously got quite the next.
What the hell are winners of, man? What are you talking about?
First place. The downside is we can't talk about their stories because they're first place winners, and so, if we were like still the show that had like 50,000 listeners, maybe not a big deal, but now they're up to over 4 million listeners. It's
I
kind of
don't
like
see no book 42 back here, man. There's something wrong with this whole conversation we got going on here.
so he just can't talk about his story, but we can't talk about what type of genres he likes to write about. He's been fortunate, but it's still the way it is. He's still a contender for the grand prize for the $5,000. So we don't want to
That's right.
put any jinx on it.
Yeah, we don't want to get him no extra votes because people heard how good his story was. Nothing like that. What's that, Jag? It'll be next year before you actually get to hear any of that. Yeah.
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 We'll know April
Will I
16th
hear?
by about 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. He'll know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's yeah. So
As will the rest of the world.
what do you mean? What do you mean? Last year we talked about the stories in the show. Oh no, we'll just
did you guys
before
get in trouble?
No. So in a couple of months, Carmen's going to be bringing y'all in groups of 4s, and it's going to usually be 2 authors and 2 illustrators, and we come on and talk about a lot of stuff, or sometimes it'll be just 4 authors and 4 illustrators, depending on how he wants to do it. But we usually get it set up like that, and at that point, they let us talk about more than what we're talking about right now. And that woman that runs the thing is mean, man.
Joe.
She is, oh man.
Joe.
She's actually got an electric whip, dude. You gotta be careful.
Joe.
Last time I was ducking, I've been losing weight so I can dodge and move around faster. What are you talking about? I'm just teasing, Jack. You don't even know who I'm talking about, so don't even worry about it. It's an inside joke, man. But Thomas will find out when he gets there.
Yeah.
It's
it's part of the adventure, I guess.
Yes, it is. So you're looking forward to going to LA, man?
Yeah, I am. I've never been to the US, so it's going to be an exciting trip. It's a long way.
It's going to be a shocker for you.
How big of a community is Windsor, Victoria?
So Windsor is a suburb in Melbourne. Melbourne is a city about 5 million people.
Melbourne's a great city.
Windsor is maybe 10 minutes out of the CBD.
Okay, so
center.
the idea of a bunch of people isn't a problem for you.
No.
Okay, good.
Melbourne's a big city.
Yeah,
Melbourne's for Australia anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a nice city. It's a nice. I mean, last time I was there was like 38 years ago, but that was when I was.
It's changed a lot. It's changed a lot.
Oh yeah, I can imagine it has. And I got a friend of mine lives down in June, and he says he loves it down there. He's a transplant. I got several transplant American friends that are down there right now. They moved down about 15 years ago, and they ain't coming back either. They love it down there.
Yeah, Matilda's still waiting for you to come back, Joe.
Yeah, and then what's Chris tells me, oh, just don't go swimming, man. Stay out of the ocean. He said, Joe, they got great whites and crocodiles. I said, I know, dude. I said, where I live, they got alligators. I said, where I live, they got alligators and water moccasins and black widow spiders. I said, so we're okay, man. We're used to danger. I live in a freaking swamp, man. It's we're a little bit used to danger. I mean, I got to watch my dogs when they're outside so the alligators don't eat them, or the damn hawks or the eagles. Lord,
or the owls.
Or the owls, yeah. We got these 3-foot owls over here. They're monsters. It's about 2.5 foot, really, but they're monsters. But everybody I know goes to Australia, likes it down there. I did. A good friend of mine was out messing around with his girlfriend somewhere. He got a black eye from a kangaroo. I still, even 15 years later, laugh about that. I'm like, dude, you don't know how to duck? He said, that thing was fast, buddy. I was like, what are you?
Yeah,
I said,
kangaroos are really dangerous.
Yes, and as he found out. So first the thing punched him in the eye, and then it broke 2 of his ribs. It kicked him in the side, broke 2 of his ribs. I was like, well, what were you doing? I said, dude, the thing's like 3 foot tall. What were you doing out there? He said, my girlfriend said, let's go pet the kangaroo. I was like, you're an idiot. I'm like, I said, would you go pet a bear in the United States? Well, no. I'm like, okay, dude. Just you don't go petting wild animals. So that's why I carry a gun, just in case some crazy animal comes up. Oh man. So now you're gonna be out in LA, you're gonna be with all these authors. You got any particular, I mean, a lot of these judges are famous. They got big movies to their credit, some of them.
Well, I'm kind of open-minded because there's so many. It's kind of hard to kind of pick a favorite, I guess. But I guess I think the thing I'm most excited about is just like, well, it's such a long way. We're probably going to come over for something like a month and do a bit of sightseeing as well. So it's
you might as well.
It's going to be a little bit of work and a little bit of play, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we got some guys that came over from England. These 2 guys come over, and now they've got 1 million followers, so it's paying them. Their subscribers are now paying them and sending them all kind of. They came down to Louisiana first and went touring the whole state because they'd never eaten American food before, and they were just freaking out the entire time they were here. They were here the first time for a month. The entire time they were here, they were like, wow. And they didn't even want to leave Louisiana because you can gain 10 pounds in Louisiana like in 5 days.
I've heard the barbecue's good down there.
Oh man, barbecue, but they got all that bayou food, all that gumbo, and man, it's just bad. But but since then they've traveled all around the country. So now what they do is they're going back and forth between England and the United States. So when they're in England, they're trying to find food like they found in the United States, but they can't because like he says, the food over there is very bland. I'm like, how do you live on bland food, man? I have a hard time going to California because the food's bland. So it's and I like Cali, man, but their food's not where I come from. They believe in this stuff called seasoning. But there's some pretty good dishes down in Aussie, man.
I don't really think there's such a thing as Australian food. A lot of the food here is like
transplants.
Transplants, blends of food from different places. I think, maybe fish and chips is probably the most Australian food. Maybe. Have you guys ever heard of a meat pie floater?
No, what is that? Tell me.
It's a South Australia dish. It's like a meat pie in mushy peas.
No, okay, that's just weird, but hey, I'll try anything once.
Yeah, but other than that, it's like our most famous dessert we stole from New Zealand. We steal a lot of stuff from New Zealand.
New Zealand's always bothered me. I never understood.
Meat pie on mushy peas is a dessert?
No, he said they stole
No,
dessert.
I was talking pavlova. Pavlova is our most famous dessert. It's like a meringue with cream and fruit. But we stole it from New Zealand and claimed it as our own, like Russell Crowe.
Well, fish and chips also is UK. That's where I'm from, London.
And that's right. So
we just call them French fries here.
Yeah, stolen all of our food from everywhere else.
Yeah, well, see, in New Orleans, we didn't steal it. They just brought it out here. And then after they got it out here, everybody decided to start trying to combine it together. Yeah. Well, they just, it's why they call it Creole now because, they'll take different flavors from different countries and put them together. And food is really good, man. I mean, and there's all kind of very unique food to the city that originated there, which is really nice. So, like I said, it's easy to get fat here, man. It really is.
From Crocodile Dundee, the whole thing of like, was it Shrimps and the Barbie? Was that a thing from that movie? Like cooking.
I've
shrimp?
never had a shrimp on the Barbie. No,
I have, man. I've had many shrimp on the Barbies, man. Barbecue is a big thing.
I think every Christmas there will be shrimps on the Barbie. I guess I'm just not a shrimp guy, but typically, I guess that's probably another thing is that our Christmas is hot.
Yeah,
so we're all out in the sun.
You're the opposite from us.
Meat on the Barbie.
Yeah.
Well,
so I've just got a question on your writing. So Joe asked you like how you got started and that whole thing there, and starting with fan fiction, moved on from there. So with your writing, are you mostly fantasy or science fiction, and then YA or adult, or what's your? Because we can't talk about your story particularly, but we can talk about what you write and your genre and that type of stuff.
So short fiction, I tend to write science fiction. So like near future science fiction.
Near future.
Joe now. Joe's going to be your.
Oh, we may be good friends, man. I like near future. I like near future, man.
I think I read that William Gibson once said that most science fiction authors don't have the balls to write near future science fiction, and I kind of took that as a personal challenge.
You're Australian, so of course you would.
Yes, but I mean, it's hard to write. I mean, you're gambling when you're writing near now. Future,
that's right.
Because that shit may come to pass while you're still alive.
Yeah, that's right.
Or you can miss it totally, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with like, wow. So that's correct.
And then for long fiction, I kind of tend towards still science fiction tendencies, but also thrillers as well. So I grew up on my dad's drawer of like Frederick Forsyth and Alistair MacLean and John le Carre and Raymond Chandler and stuff like that. So a bit of the techno thrillers, a bit of Michael Crichton is probably my go. I actually released my debut novel this year. If you want to have a look,
I
have a copy here.
Uh-oh.
Project Gateway.
Yeah.
Check it out. There you go.
What
Send
if
me a
you can
copy, I'll
send me
put
a
it right there.
copy? If you can send me a copy, I don't care if it's an audiobook or ebook, either too. I'm pretty far of a long queue, but I always make it a habit of specifically selecting out writers that feature winners over other authors as guests on the podcast, because I got to
Yeah,
write
sure
the
thing.
podcast. So I'd love to read it and interview you. And then if this is also near future,
This is
or is it current?
It's present day. So
Okay.
it's in the same vein as something like the Andromeda Strain or Jurassic Park. It's a
Okay.
techno thriller about the invention of teleportation and
Good.
all of the billionaires kind of fighting for control of the technology as it's about to be released.
Well, yeah, well, it's a good thing to be writing about teleportation since Australia holds the record right now. Did you know that? I bet you didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So right now, that y'all hold
the photon.
record.
How many photon went how far?
So England had it at 1,500, 1.5 miles or 1.5 kilometers actually, and kilometers, and then Australia got it up to about 5 miles. Then y'all got ballsy and decided to try. Let's do some living matter to see how it affects it when it gets to the other point. So, needless to say, we're a long ways from anything, but
yeah.
There's 3 countries right now. It's Australia, the Brits, and I forgot who else it was. That are all having a 3-way battle on who's going to come up with this first. As far as I know, maybe somebody in America is working on it for it, but nobody that we know. Nobody came out and said anything. America's right now.
Defense project.
America's working on stuff right now. Just blows shit up. Let's just be honest about it. But they just put out 3 new laser cannons, which are beastified. I don't know what we need them for. Maybe splitting asteroids or something, but. We were watching the test yesterday.
I thought I heard on Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast they're talking about using those lasers for accelerating like probes across like interstellar distances.
That. So did you ever hear?
Sails.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Star Wars? Way back in the day, one of our presidents built these giant lasers. So he took these lasers.
Oh, that was Ronald Reagan for the missile defense program. Yeah.
So they didn't know what to do with these lasers after they were sitting on the ground. So they pointed them up, made a round disc, and vented out the disc and set them on top and heated it up and shot the damn things into space. And so they knew by doing that, they could shoot stuff into space with these lasers, which tells you these lasers were not designed to blow up missiles. They were way too big and way too powerful for that. I have no idea what they were being built for. But they were massive, and they were showing them shooting these things. I mean, these things were going in orbit in under minutes. I mean, like 15 minutes or less, they were in orbit. They just, they got a bunch of metallic discs floating around the sky right now. People are probably reporting them as UFOs somewhere. It's, but it was cool. So there's a lot of this going on. But they showed that new blue beam. It cut the ship in half. And the ship just went. I mean, it was like butter. The new railgun did the same thing to the one down in Bikini Atoll. It just cut it in half. It was like 5 rails, pop, 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 and the ship just went. Big solid steel battleship from World War II, cut it in half like it wasn't even just butter. It was like cutting some bread. I don't know what we need all these crazy weapons for, but see, that's good for near now sci-fi writers, man.
Yeah,
it's some good stuff in there. And I see like the X-47. That's the drone for the F-47. So it's a Mach 2.8 jet that has 4 drones that come with it. Basically smaller versions of itself that are AI and controlled at the same time. And the F-47 does not have a joystick like the F-22. It doesn't have a joystick. It's fly-by-wire.
I'll have to wait till that comes out to the air show in a couple of years.
That's why the United States would never let anybody have the F-22. We sell everything. F-22 was no, you cannot have the F-22. We're not letting you buy it. Not even our closest allies couldn't get their hands on them because they have serious technology in there that only we have, and they don't want to share it right now. Eventually, the Brits will get it, and then y'all will get it. But everybody else is going to have to wait a long time before they get their hands on it. It's spooky stuff, though, man. Like the new the B-2 Raider. And something else the X-47 can do. Not only does it have stealth, but it can physically go invisible. It has a shielding system on it. It just, when it goes, you can't see it. You can't find, there's no heat plume, no nothing. You're not even seeing it on radar. And if by some chance you see it on the ground, this thing engages and it just disappears. It's something right out of sci-fi. I was like,
It sounds like James Bond.
I was like, look at this thing is a beast. This will be over your head. You'll never know it's there. I'm like, no, man. So, I mean, I keep up on all of that because some of the other shows I host, but it's crazy to watch technologically where we are today. And for sci-fi writers, it's got to be fabulous because, for me, a lot of what I'm seeing today is stuff I used to think about when I was 16, 17 years old is coming to fruition today, except for my damn George Jetson car. I'm still hacked off about that. But other than that,
your hoverboard.
Yeah, I want my flying car, man. Come on, it's 2025. We should have flying cars, man. Let's be honest about it.
Well, we're gonna have our first Waymos on the freeway now in LA.
Oh Lord, y'all making me nervous out there. I was out in Phoenix with him earlier this year. They got them freaking self-driving taxis everywhere. I mean, it's like an invasion of self-driving taxis. And now we're seeing these big rigs driving between Atlanta and the coast, picking up and delivering brand new cars, driving by themselves. It's
really
spooky. Yeah, they're driving by themselves. Well, when my mom got sick when she was dying, I was driving back and forth to Atlanta. They have a group of them. They get like 5 together. I used to get in between them and set my mom's car, her Cadillac, to distance and just let the car drive all the way to Atlanta. Shit, I went to sleep a couple times. I was trusting the AI in front of me was going to do the right thing. It's risky business, but you see him a lot now. Yeah, you see him a lot now. So, that's like the day they showed the guy in, where was he? He was in New York. And you see him, he's in a sports car. He runs up inside the rig and he's screaming at the rig. And the guy in another car in the truck's got his camera. There's nobody in the rig. There's nobody in it at all. He's just screaming at this thing. And I'm laughing, going, dude, there's nobody in there. You can't see there's nobody in there. I don't know. But see, that's all good writing stuff, man. It's good writing material.
So, Thomas, and as an author, so have you done any particular training or has it just been through experience? Like, do you have yourself take writing classes or part of a writing group or anything like that?
So I guess the first thing I did was I did a class with Dave Farland.
Yeah.
Maybe 2021. Sadly, he died after the second lesson, I think. So we only got a couple of weeks with Dave, but I think the group came together and we kind of helped each other anyway. So that was, I think that was really beneficial. And I found a writing group here in Melbourne. There's a lot of really talented writers around here. And there's about 30 of us. We're all science fiction, fantasy, horror, kind of quite a few refugees of fine arts programs, who, you go to university to write and they're like, oh, science fiction, no thanks. And so we all managed to find each other.
It still has that stigma down there. It's getting less and less here in the United States just because there's so much more money in science fiction and fantasy.
Yeah. And so we have a writing group, and so there, we do short fiction and long form fiction, different writing groups writing together, like it's a bit of a social group as well. We have a short story anthology every year. I can plug that too if you like.
Sure.
So best speculative fiction from Melbourne every year. There's a couple of Aurealis Award winners, which I guess is in that anthology. Which I guess is kind of like the Australian equivalent to the Locus Awards. Yeah. Aurealis is the biggest speculative fiction magazine in Australia, and they do the awards every year. And our president won best science fiction short story last year. So
that's good.
And another of my friends won best novella.
Good. Do you know Sean Williams?
No, I know of Sean Williams, but I've not met him. No.
Yeah, he was a winner, I think, in volume 9, and he became a judge a few years later. I know he's teaching. He's got
I think he's in Adelaide, I think.
Yeah, he's in Adelaide, but he's also right now teaching on the internet via Japan. He's in Japan right now. He spent half a year in Antarctica doing a bunch of research and stuff like that, and then he came back to Adelaide. Then he went to Japan. So he travels around, but he was quite a guy. When he first came out to Los Angeles from Adelaide, he was like, he didn't know other authors, let alone science fiction writers. So for him coming out there, it was like he was a lone man out there doing his stuff. Same thing with Sean Tam when he was a winner too, from New Zealand. From they didn't know anybody else was like him, because they didn't know anybody else. So when they came out there and found there's a bunch of like-minded spirits that were into writing their science fiction and fantasy, they were like pigs in a veritable, just.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference.
And that's what things you're going to have.
Yeah, I had some friends in like other countries that I'd met through classes and courses and stuff like that, and that's good. It's really valuable, but it's very different when you can all go around to each other's houses and like critique each other's work, and then go to the pub and have lunch and like just hang out and be nerds together.
Well, that's one of the things you're going to find. Joe has a lot of great stories about this. Just for the week that you're here for the workshop,
you're
with all these other writers and the judges, and then when the workshop's over for the day, you go to the pub, for BarCon.
It's great, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you, and I tell this to every winner for 7 years now. If you find yourself downstairs at BarCon or LobbyCon, and you for some reason don't want to approach a judge, just tap me and says, "Hey, Joe, I introduce you to anybody," because I'm gonna be honest, all the judges are there for y'all. They want to talk to y'all. They really want.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years for this to really sink into my head that these judges actually wanted to talk to y'all. Because I've been in a lot of contests, and a lot of times the judges are like, "Yeah, nice to meet you, blah 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 blah. Let me show you how to do this, blah 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 blah," and they're kind of a little standoffish. These judges are not. They're very hands on, and what I really like about them, both the illustrators and the authors, is it's a very diverse group. They look at things differently. When you're listening to them talk, you're not going to learn one rigid thing down the middle. You're going to learn like fingers going out from the middle. So, whatever best fits your personality, the information is there. It's one of the things I really like about it. And it's not just, they teach you about, financing and different things like that, and publishing. And so it's not just about being the author itself. It's about everything that goes along with being an author. Whether you should be self-publishing, where should you be, when you're making money, how should you protect yourself? Should it be limited liability? All of that stuff's included in that. Plus the fabulously great stories that each judge is going to tell you while they're there about their own careers coming up. Those are priceless. Those literally, you get more information out of those than you can imagine, because they tell you, "Hey, I did this. And you know what? No, I had to turn around and do this, this, and this, and that's how I got here today." And they're honest about it. They don't have to be, they're actually quite honest about it. So they're, and you'll notice, they'll agree a lot of times, and sometimes you'll have two of them on the stage, not always agreeing on which is the best method to go.
Yeah, it's funny because you'll have one judge like either some will be very much like self-publishing is the way to go. Traditional publishing is the worst thing. They're the worst enemies of an author. And then you get the other thing like
Dean Wesley Smith to me.
Dean's gonna say that. He's a character and a half, man.
Yeah. And then you get like Rob Sawyer, who says, traditional, because you got Rob Sawyer and Scott Card and Tim Powers and the more Steve Sterling. They're the more established authors from having started 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So for them, that was the only way you could go, was traditional. And so they're in there. But for the newer guys,
there's lots of
we
ways
had like
to go
Hugh
today.
Howey did Kevin Anderson, Hugh Howey, Brandon Sanderson. They then did the tradition, but then they just said no. They want to do their own speed. So Hugh Howey, he did self-publish, and then he went traditional because he was so successful. And he said, I can't deal with this. Then he went back to being self-published. So you'll get whatever. Like, okay, like Joe was saying, okay, I can think with this. This I'm not so keen on, at least right now. But you'll take your notes. You might realize 5 years later, wow, that actually does make sense now. Now that you're more established and
since you got to be ready for the advice at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep it in your back pocket. I guess
there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on. They're going to keep you really, really, really busy. You're going to have a lot of fun. There's like the first day is going to be the reveal, and of course they've got the 24-hour, and it's it's just they keep you busy and they want you learning while you're there. And like I said, the judges really want to teach you. It's funny to me because I was sitting there one day, I was messing around at the bar getting something to eat, and I think it was Kevin. It was one of them, maybe it was Rob. Anyways, one of their birthdays, and they were going to go get something to eat. They invited like all the authors to go with them. I was like, "You're shitting me, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'd be like, "People, y'all go away for a while. I'm yourself." But no, they're great, and they're really truly they know a lot of people. They got really good stories. There's a lot of great information there. I mean, I thought I knew what an author was before I started hanging out with these guys. Frankly, I didn't know squat. So I've learned a lot. As a matter of fact, I was giving a lecture not too long ago, and the guy's like, "You must be an author." I said, "No, I just got a lot of friends that are authors." I said, "I'm not that." He's like, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm positive."
Yeah. Have you taken the online writing workshop, the one on Writers of the Future?
No, not yet. Jody told me.
Around everybody saying you need to get through that because it's a workshop. Now that we have this free online workshop, you get through that, which is what used to be the course that the winners would get. But now by coming in with that already done, because it has 16 videos now from judges plus 10 or 11 essays from L. Ron Hubbard on the craft of writing. And it was, I think, 12 videos. And we just added a video from Kevin Anderson, Nydia Corfor, and Rob Sawyer. So it's definitely, grown. But with that under your belt, then Jody Lanai and Tim Powers, who are the two that teach the workshop, the main two instructors, will go over, all these points, but you will have already done them, so they don't have to spend quite so much time on it. So now you can have more time spent
on level 2.
Exactly. So now you can start getting more into the business of writing and more advanced stuff to be, okay, now I want to make a career as a writer. Now let's start addressing that points. We assume you can write. Now we're going to talk about how to make a career.
Jackie, writersofthefuture.com. You can take it there. Yeah. I've taken it like 4 times. I just won't finish. I won't write the damn story, but I've taken the course. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, because somebody over there threatens. I can't write anything. Look, I've tried. Don't get me wrong, because I do a lot of research for some different organizations. I would like to put it all down on paper, but when I'm with these guys, I can put out about 20,000 words when I'm in Los Angeles over the 6 or 7 days, 8 days that I'm there. The problem is when I get it home, it always feels like jibber jabber to me. If I was brave, I would just leave it with his wife and ask her to look at it for me, because she'd be honest with me and say, "Joe, don't write no more, son. Don't touch the thing."
It's like that one Star Trek episode where Bones gets that one thing, he gets that one, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, how simple!" And he has to operate on Kirk or whoever it was. And then it gradually starts, dissipating. And he's like, I'm confused. I'm not sure what it is. But when Joe's in LA around all this amazing,
it's actually easier because
creativity, he's just like sparks alive.
Because I've sat through now what you're going to sit through 7 times, and and that you know what? Let me rephrase that, because it's not a correct way of saying that. It's not exactly the same every time. So there's different judges. So different judges talk about different things. And John lets me have access to everybody. So I sit and listen to the different things. I actually understand art quite well today. I still can't draw a straight stick man, but I actually understand how it works. I understand how shadowing is. So for me, for like authors, the biggest problem I ever had about writing is the filler stuff. Like when you see somebody writing, "Oh, it's sun shining outside and I'm walking down the street and the wind's," I just my brain just does not work that way. It cannot. And look, I've talked to them about it, and they've showed me many ways to try to adjust it, and it does help. But still, that just, I want to write more like a documentary than a book, and that's not actually what I'm after doing. So it's kind of like one side's fighting the other side. So anyway, eventually I'll get one written, just because he's hanging out with these guys. You learn a lot, but it's
absorb it all through osmosis.
That's the hardest part, is just doing it and starting. The hardest thing is starting, and then the next hardest is like actually finishing it and then doing something with it. But that's the next hardest thing, is just finishing a book. And for someone that's who's actually written something, they're in such a small top percentile of people that say, "Oh, I wish I could be a writer," or "I want to be a writer," or "I don't have time to be a writer." All that stuff is just excuses to not writing a book. So you just start. Doesn't even matter if it's good or bad. So you finish it. So you're really close to just finishing it, because you got that amazing story. of your experience earlier there in Florida. And so you can talk about that stuff, and then you can get into editing, because that's what a lot of the judges say too. It's like the hardest part is just writing and finishing, and then you can go through and start the editorial process. So for yourself though, as a writer, one thing we've found, and the judges all say this, you got to be well read. So are you well read as an author?
Yeah, I read a lot of different things. I try and alternate between fiction and nonfiction. Generally, when I'm writing, the nonfiction I read will be research for what I'm currently writing. So at the moment, I'm reading a lot of cybersecurity nonfiction because I'm writing a cyber thriller at the moment. And then for fiction, so I guess my go-to happy place is something like The Expanse or a Jean Le Carre novel. I love a good spy thriller, but I probably the best books I read all over the place. So I just finished. I don't know if you guys know Elena Ferrante, who wrote My Brilliant Friend. She's an Italian author, and I finished the second book in that series last night. Stayed up till midnight because I wanted to get it because I couldn't put it down.
Yeah, those are fun books. Have you read anything by L. Ron Hubbard?
I think the only thing of his that I've read was in volume 37 of The Writers of the Future, which was a story called The Dangerous Dimension, which I quite enjoyed. But I think I learnt probably in my 20s that golden age science fiction is not really my cup of tea. Like I like some Heinlein. I have had mixed responses to Asimov, mixed responses to Clarke. So I tend not to go back that far, I don't think.
Yeah, because we'll be sending around, I'm not sure which book it'll be, because between Tim and Jody, they pick different books that get sent to the to all the winners, the writer and artist winners, because the artists use that as their theme for when they do their various exercises. And then the writers, you'll be going over that with your with the various essays and stuff like that, and drills. The whatever book gets sent. There's I know that Tim, I think, likes Typewriter in the Sky, which was that's the first one that was about science fiction poking fun at itself, and it's called recursive science fiction, and it's fantasy. And then there's another judge loves Fear, which was the very first in the I guess the psychological thriller genre, which is like Philip K. Dick said that's what inspired him to do what he does. Stephen King says that was one of the best books ever written in this genre, because it started.
Sounds like it's up my alley.
Yeah, that one there is really good. We get a lot of our judges like that one a lot, and then the other one that Rob Sawyer really liked a lot is To the Stars, which when we released that a few years ago, again, it was written in 1950, and he got a star review from Publishers Weekly, and then Entertainment Weekly decided, okay, we're going to review it as well. And they came out and they gave it an A, saying it's as gritty and as relevant now as it was when it was written in 1950. And so his stories are all like more people driven, they're all character driven, which tends to make stories more timeless. When you get into the technology, then as soon as technology changes, then all of a sudden, like some of the Pulp Fiction stuff you have, they press the starter to get the car going, and they hit the clutch, and people are like, what? What's a starter? What's the clutch? That they don't know those things necessarily. And
it's one of my favorite parts about reading old science fiction, actually, is the like prescience of the things they're able to predict, and then the things that like just they didn't think about at all. Yeah. Like I reread Neuromancer a couple of years ago, and it blew me away at what William Gibson was able to think about AI and superintelligence in like 1982 or when he read it. But all the spaceships still had dot matrix printers on them.
Yeah.
So it gives me a little bit of hope.
But realize when they went to the moon, what they had to use, like what you're carrying
Yeah.
around on your phone right now, is 100 times more powerful than what they had to work with to get to the moon. And the technology, it's crazy what we were able to do with so little, you know.
Yeah.
And just that, what was that one movie with the three ladies that actually solved the science to get into space? There was that movie.
Hidden Figures?
Yeah. That was amazing, you know, just based upon, I mean, obviously Hollywood did their little bit of stuff to it, but otherwise it was based around a true story. And what they had to work with in order to make that happen was just amazing, you know, and their workarounds to be able to deal with the various force vectors because the technology didn't exist, either science technology or the physical structure of building something that could withstand that kind of pressure, you know. So, and they always had the problems then with the little on the space capsules coming back in, you know, with the various pieces shedding off there, you know, that were the asbestos.
So answer me this. So back then we used hand crank calculators and punch card computers. Today we have quantum computers and we still can't get back to the moon.
Yeah.
What the hell? Really?
Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, back then, I mean, it's no, because they just, I mean, Elon's getting us back no matter what, because he can't help himself. It's his ADDH in himself. He can't help it. But he's now decided NASA's going too slow. He's going to go ahead and start building a moon base. Thank God he don't have to have permission for that kind of stuff. Because he said NASA's just moving too slow. And NASA's bitching that he's not moving fast enough for the Artemis program going back to the moon. Because now they're in a race with China for some reason. I'm like, what are we in a race for China for? We've already been to the moon. We were first. There's no first now.
Because
well, there's that one story that
to turn it into money, I think.
Oh, all of us planning on doing that. We're all going up there to mine that helium-3. That's the reason we're all going.
Was that as well as, I mean, this is some of the original stories that science fiction writers wrote. Like Hubbard wrote this story called 240,000 Miles Straight Up, where it becomes an amazing strategic military base, you know, because when you're up there, whoever controls like the moon has an amazing strategic, you know, advantage too, which is, you know, as much as you take a look at people think, oh yeah, it's altruism. No, it's not. You know, you gotta, there's something underneath that because there's no altruism in politics or in government.
No, it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. I mean, China's been up there 5 times with their stuff. They haven't put any people up there yet. And them and Russia want to build a base up there. They want to put a nuclear reactor on the moon and build a base. And then they want to start mining helium-3. The U.S. basically wants to do the same thing. Helium-3 is the power of the future. It'll be the new oil boom, but it'll be on the moon. And then we'll go to Mars. And then Elon's going to get that asteroid because he's going to be the first one to Mars and he's going to be the first one to the asteroid belt. And he's going to get that asteroid belt out there that is worth more than our planet 100 million times over. That means he'll be like a Google Air? There won't even be a number for it. I mean,
he'll make his own number.
Yeah, he'll physically have the money to buy the world, basically, is what we're saying here. And people, I'm telling y'all, he reminds me of Drax. So everybody should go watch Moonraker because I think little X is going to be Drax, actually, but still.
Yeah.
He's putting all these satellites up around our planet. Now he's sending satellites to Mars and put them up around the planet. All these laser controlled communication satellites he's got up there that he told Putin that if you tried launching a nuke against the United States, I'll knock it down. And then he goes, and don't forget, I can build satellites and rockets much faster than you can. I was like, whoa. Elon just basically slapped Putin in the head. I was like, get out of here, man. That's great sci-fi.
So we should be watching out for when Elon Musk gets a 7-foot tall friend with metal teeth.
Yes, I'm a bit worried because once he gets, he's already said he's taking his kids, he's going to Mars. And little Drax, he takes little X everywhere with him. Who names their kid X to start off with? I mean, everything he owns is named X, a bunch of his companies. But what people don't realize about Musk, all you have to do is look at him. Almost every business he's owned is to help him get to Mars. Everything from his neurochips, because now he's building a robots that can be controlled with neurochips implanted in your head. So you can send a whole bunch of them to Mars and just control them, let them do what else, or you can put them on AI and they can be building the colony before you even get there. The man is brilliant. I mean, he is just brilliant. He's building the ships that can be converted into satellite into places to live. But he wants to build either underground or inside Olympus Mons, so they don't have to deal with radiation, and they can pressurize inside of a volcano or something like that by sealing it up. So you'd have pressure you can move around in comfortably without suits and oxygen. We'll see, people. Oh, we'll see it in our lifetime. Yeah.
Bring big bags of potatoes with him.
Unless Putin starts World War III, we'll be on Mars in less than a decade. We'll be on the moon in less than 5 years. They're forecast to be there for the end of 2026, but I'm thinking more like 2028.
I think the science has changed since The Martian. I don't think we can actually grow potatoes in Martian soil. I think the salt is carcinogenic.
Yeah. Well, they had some dirt brought back a while back, so they found out that anything exposed directly on top is probably going to be useless. He said, but when you dig down just a foot under the soil or down into the brine, because people don't realize there's like a 500-foot thick layer of brine across most of the planet, salt water.
Yeah.
So they're saying anything underneath there. He said there's probably still life underneath there. NASA did say they're expecting to. I said this 35 years ago, but they're expecting to find life on Mars. They really are, mainly because the northern cap retreats every year. It disappears, but when it retreats, this blackish greenish plume comes out and spreads out all over the place. And then when it starts snowing in the wintertime, yes, it snows on Mars, people. It goes away. It's like some it's probably some, I don't know, it might be a nematode, it might be some kind of fungus, but it does seem to be life there. And now they do know there's liquid water on Mars, and Mars does get above freezing. So it's not quite what we were originally told it was, but still, the pressure there will kill you instantly. So you got to have a suit on, and you got to have oxygen. But you can live there and you can move around on there. And it's not the only one they're planning on colonizing. They're planning on at least 3 moons, maybe 4 moons. They're even planning on a base on Pluto. Coming to find out, our solar system, they found an ocean bigger than the one on our planet in our solar system on a moon.
Yeah, this it's one of Jupiter's moons or something. They're sending
sending
a probe out to fly through a geyser or something.
They had sent
to see if they can get samples. Yeah.
They had
very
sent one
exciting.
a while back. Yeah, they had sent one a while back that landed on the ice. But you can see the image too. It's queer. So you see this thing land and it's trying to core drill. I doubt it could. The ice looked really thick, but you could see in spots where it looked clear. Well, all of a sudden, while the camera's panning, you see this thing do this under the ice, big and black, and it looked alive. It did not look dead. Hit like a freaking whale. I was like, and even the NASA guys are like, nah, they're trying to say it was something floating around. And then the other NASA, he said, well, what's floating around on there? Because one guy said, maybe it's a tree. He goes, what do you mean a tree, man? It was, I don't know. So they're thinking they're going to find life because there's heat and water underwater. So they're pretty sure they're going to find life there. They've gotten to the point like Sirius, is that what they call it? CER, SE, or whatever it's called. The one with the weird light glowing inside of it. NASA says they believe that light you're seeing is the beginnings of life. It's like the building blocks of life being spread around through the solar system and the asteroid belt. I was like, NASA, for some reason, NASA had a fundamental change 2 years ago and went from, oh, there's no life in the universe. Oh, you know what? There's probably a lot of life in the universe. I don't know what happened, what they saw, who told them what, but they had a fundamental change in what they actually believed. I was kind of like, well,
you went and testified and they changed their mind.
I did have to go testify twice. That's what, it's what's it, Johnny Ray? Oh, that's all classified, but wish. I'd already wrote a book about it if I could. No, it's just Congress does what Congress wants to do, and I'm just a little peon in the cog, buddy. So it's so
one thing, just separate, Thomas. How many times did you enter the contest before you won?
7, I think.
Okay, that's pretty good.
So I think the latest one was the 7th.
Well, if you ever get
any honorable mentions and silvers and semifinal and that type of stuff,
I think 3 silvers and 2 honorables and one nothing before I won.
Yeah.
Randy,
Definitely
Randy?
using your bio that you're winner of Rise of the Future. That's it's a big, it's recognized out there because now 42 years, which is a significant number this year for science fiction fans. For life, everything. Yeah.
A friend of mine found a copy of issue 1 in a secondhand bookstore this year.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm going to bring it, see if I can get some autographs for him.
For sure. That'd be great. Yeah.
We have a lady writing in from Stockholm. Her name's Ruth. She said she wanted to know if you could give her like one good near sci-fi novel and one good like TV or a movie series to watch. She said she really likes near sci-fi, but it's hard to find.
Yeah. I guess so. There's one on my shelf that I haven't read yet, but I'm really looking forward to. I think it's the book that's been written for me that I've ever seen. It's called Red Moon by Kim Stanley Robinson. It's about communists when they take over the moon. And then in terms of near future sci-fi TV shows,
Jeffrey's Farscape was not near now sci-fi.
No, Farscape was shot in Melbourne.
Way the hell out there in sci-fi. I love Farscape. It was fun to watch.
I said probably the best science fiction I've watched recently is Severance.
I don't know if I've seen them. I'll have to go look and see.
It's Apple TV.
I'll look on and see. I know.
Yeah, it's really good. It's about a workplace that puts implants in their employees' heads, and when they go down to the basement where they work, the outside personality disappears and the inside personality appears. So they're like two separate people when they're at work compared to when they're at home.
Well, that's interesting.
Really, really creepy. Very good though.
Yeah.
One very intense near future science fiction is by a guy named James Rassone. He's been a guest on this show a couple times, and he's got this whole series that starts with China releasing this app that everybody in the world just goes crazy over. He never calls it TikTok, but everybody does it, and they've got a supercomputer in China that's profiling everybody, and then he starts in with the deep fakes and taking like the president and other world leaders, and they have a real incident, and then they would when they walk off screen, they still keep the voice going, but they put in a different, what they're saying, and you use that to create dissent amongst the people there and between other countries. And then China, because they profiled people, they know how far they could be pushed before they reacted, and so then they started World War III. By attacking and
that sounds up my alley. What's it called?
It's
let me just find it real fast for you here. It's
Jennifer, the last two TV series I watched would have been Altered Carbon and Expanse. Expanse is easily good. It's near now sci-fi. It's easy.
It's called the Monroe Doctrine.
Yes, that is. Matter of fact, it's right there. Look at that. There she is, right there. Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah. It's crazy good. It's really to me, it's the scariest type of writing I can read. Because horror is like, okay, that's horror, but this stuff here, it's all plausible. And he said, look at all this is technology that exists. Isn't. It's science fiction because it's not been made real. But James goes to these different military shows, the technology shows around the world, and sees what these guys are doing, and these mech robots that they have, all these AI robots, the technology is there it's missing one thing, the batteries. And they're working on that. So if they had really long extension cords, these guys can do a lot of stuff that they don't have.
They got real long extension cords.
But they can do all this stuff where they can then shoot and they can swivel around and just because they're, it's not relying on eyes. They've got their sensors so they can shoot, with multiple direct 360 degrees and it's amazing. But it's very, very scary what they've done, and so anyway, it's an insanely good thing. But that's an author too that went the self-published route. He did the whole thing on Amazon. He's Amazon, and he'll be in the 7 figures this year as an author on his earnings, and He's a good guy. If you're interested after this, you can let me know and I'll introduce you to him, because he's
that'd be great.
He's an amazing author. Just a really nice guy. He spent 25, 30 years in the military and retired. And he started writing these books to kind of like, for him to kind of like depressurize from, he was an interrogator in the Middle East. And he said that stuff, that was insane. That was crazy.
It's no, Jackie. The Expanse is the one Amazon saved. Yeah, Sci-Fi had it, and they did like 2 seasons, and the fans went crazy. So Jeff Bezos bought it and did 4 more seasons. It's a fun sci-fi. It's got really good seasons. It's got effects that you're not going to see anywhere else. They did some things in there that really brought you home to let you know you were really in space. Was no FTLs, no faster than light travel. It's old school. It's probably set 50 years from where we are now, maybe 100. No more than that. We'll say 100 for sake of argument. The other one,
it's 300 years in the future.
Oh, is it 3? So
it's 2300. Well,
so,
the books are anyway.
So and that's edgy. Yeah, no, that's edgy. Now sci-fi. That's a little getting out there. It's no. What is it, Chris? No, Altered Carbon. First off, don't watch with your children. It's not a children. It's not for children. It's really not for anyone under the age of 21.
It's too mature for me to watch.
It's really good sci-fi. The problem is there's a lot of gratuitous sex. I mean a lot of nudity and a lot of drugs. So, but the sci-fi is
proper cyberpunk.
Yeah, it really is. And but the sci-fi is impeccable. So it's fun to watch. It's just not something you should watch with anybody who's easily offended. That's the only way I can say it. I mean, really and truly, I just liked it because it was fun. It was fast paced. They have 3 different guys that play the lead guy. All 2 of them are very famous actors. As a matter of fact, the second one he took over for what's his name? Captain America. I can't think of his name now, but he took over for Captain America. He was the guy who had the suit that used to fly around. He's the new Captain America. But so he's in the movie, and but I mean in the series, it's fun to watch. It's all based on a way they put this thing in the back of your neck, and it keeps your consciousness in there. So when you die, they can just upload the consciousness into another one, into another body. Anybody, by the way, anybody that's got one of those things, your consciousness can be uploaded into. And it shows you about our world, because in the future, if you're not rich and something happens, they'll give you a new body, but it's usually like somebody who's in prison, maybe cracked up, been on crack for a while or something, got issues. It's a messed up TV series, but it's interesting.
I realize I should be plugging Australian authors. There's a
plug away, man, because Australia's got some good sci-fi too.
Yeah, so one I read this year is called The Escher Man by T.R. Napa.
Yeah, he was a winner.
It was set in Hong Kong, I think, and it's about a hitman who basically, whenever he changes jobs, he gets his memory wiped, and he's trying to figure out who he's killed and who he hasn't killed, and what the things that he's done in the past, and try and make up for them whilst not being able to trust his memory. Yeah, really good.
What's that, Genie? Any future time travel? I don't know. I don't think I've watched anything time traveling lately. But I don't even think I've read anything.
No, not really.
I know it's unusual too, because something's always got some kind of time traveling going on. But I don't get time to read them, so I always tell people don't forget about audiobooks, because I got lots of times I can listen, like when I'm posting archives or prepping for shows or driving or traveling when I'm doing lectures and stuff, or traveling between cities when I'm doing other things. So I have lots of time to listen. Trying to read is tough. And we read on the airplane. I gotta tell you, right, reading on the airplane is not the best place to read a book. One, it's noisy as all hell, which is just distracting to me. And 2, them chairs just are not. If I'm going to read something, I'm going to get one of the big recliners and put it up.
I write on the plane.
So it's I like to sleep when if I got a flight that's more than 5 hours, I want to sleep. Just leave me alone. Wake me up when we land. It's unless I get to see something. If it's going to be like 10 hours of ocean or 15 hours, now you can keep that. I'm going to sleep. Just wake me up when we get where we're going. Because like flying from where you're at, you can spend like a day over the ocean.
Yeah, it's about 24 hours from airport to airport.
There is one good time travel you mentioned before. Douglas Richard, he's been a guest on the podcast too as well. called Split Second. It's one of his books. He gets into time travel there. He's done a couple of them. He's pretty good with his science fiction time travel stuff.
Is Chris still in Poland?
I think so.
Yeah,
he's Australian. He was a grand prize winner from Australia about 4 years ago.
I need to write to him. I haven't talked to him in a while. I got his email somewhere. It's I have to see what he's been up to. He's a crazy Aussie, actually. Somebody dropped him in his head when he was a baby. You can tell, man.
I was going to have him on as a guest. He sent me his book, and it was just like it wasn't my stuff. It was a little bit too between R and X, and I said, okay. So he said, yeah, it's a bit much for you, isn't it? I said, yeah, it is. He said, okay, good. I'll work on another one.
I'll get him sent it to one.
He recognized I'd have a problem.
He knows his audience.
Yeah, he knew I'd have a problem with it. Now we've got Michael trying to get in, but he said he's
he seems to be having cam problems or
to
mic
allow
problems.
my common mic. So
usually the only thing he gets trouble to is Apple. For some reason, StreamYard's not the biggest fan of Apple, but all that proprietary BS, he gets upset sometimes. Jackie, what are you talking about? I just like near-now sci-fi. I like all sci-fi. I just like I like things that you can think of that may actually happen in your lifetime or maybe in your kid's lifetime. Well, I got kids and grandkids. Shit, for that matter, I got great grandkids. Yes, I was born before like the sun started shining. We didn't even have a moon when I was born. Really, there was no moon. There's none.
Joe,
beautiful night sky, no moon in it whatsoever. I don't know. It's a long time ago. Jesse says you must be a vampire. I am from New Orleans, you know. I'm that guy with the brown hair in Anne Rice's book. Y'all are too gullible for your own good. Actually, no, you can go. Okay, so for anybody, now we missed Halloween, so you got a whole another year, but so you can come down in New Orleans and you can go to the vampire ball and hang out with all the vampires, and they actually drink real blood and stuff at this ball, so just don't be grossed out. And you can go to Anne Rice's All Hallow Eve's ball, which is another fabulous Halloween. I mean, she whoever throws it on now does a fabulous job throwing it on. Yeah, they own it's an old, I like to call it a nunnery, like a brewery, but it's Abbey House, and it's a beautiful piece of property on St. Charles Avenue, and they have big, massive party. I got invited the first time because I knew the bartender. The same way I got in to go to the Dungeon. There's a place in the quarter down the street from Pat O's called the Dungeon. They also do a hell of an All Hallow Eve's party. And everybody's dressed up. Everybody in New Orleans loves to dress up for any reason. I mean, because we got Mardi Gras. So Halloween's like half of Bourbon Street or more is just in costume.
Yeah, New Orleans is a place I'd love to visit.
Oh, you'll have a good time there. They got good food and lots of crazy people. It's New Orleans fits more when you meet people who come there. We see a lot of people from Asia, but we see a lot of people from Australia. We see a lot of people from England. We don't see as many. We do see a good bit of people from France, but the inner parts of Europe, we don't really see that many people. They go to New York and California, places like that, but they don't really come down here for some reason. Now we got people from Scandinavia coming down all the time, but that's because we're trading secrets. They're trading secrets with us on how to build dikes, and we're teaching them secrets on how to build proper pumping systems that can pump out hurricanes worth of water in 9 minutes a minute. So yeah, it's a good trade, that's a good thing going on. It's kind of funny when they have because they have these big, huge gatherings. They get together and they spend like 2 weeks just chatting on how to keep their land from disappearing and stuff. I'm not laughing, people, because it is serious stuff, but it is funny because I mean you have to listen. New Orleans has a variety of accents. Apparently the Dutch do too. So it's a finagle going on when they're all talking to each other. You're like, what? I'm like, somebody's gonna have to slow down or speed up. I'm getting confused here.
So what else works on getting in with StreamYard besides Google Chrome? I'm
using Edge.
You're using
Edge works, yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know why Chrome would give him trouble. That's weird. That's its preferred thing is Chrome. If he's trying to get on a phone, if he's using Chrome but he's on an Apple phone, it probably still won't work. For some reason, it's Apple is weird. It's when I used to use my iPhone. Matter of fact, I had to get a big argument with the people who run the company over my iPhone because I said, look, I don't always have a Droid. Right now I got a Droid, but sometimes I got an iPhone, just whichever one happens to have what I want at the time. Denise, what do you mean? No, he's in Australia right now. So he should have a pot of coffee next to him or something. It's
Yeah, it's
steaming,
almost
perking.
breakfast time.
Yes, he's gonna go eat, and then he's gonna go back
Smell
to
the
sleep.
bacon and the eggs sizzling.
Yes. Where are you from?
So when you come out here, Thomas, are you going to be by yourself, or you have a wife or parents?
No,
or...
my girlfriend will come with me, and so I
Yeah,
think
she ain't letting him in LA by himself now. Come on. For a week?
so. I think
It's not
I'll
happening.
probably be by myself for most of the workshop, so I can like throw myself into it, and she'll just go sightseeing or whatever.
That's a lot to do.
I think we'll probably go to Vegas. I'd love to go to the Grand Canyon. But other than that, I'm open for suggestions.
Well, when Chris was here, he went to Vegas, he went to Grand Canyon, then he flew over to Hawaii. Because he calls me, he said, "Why don't you come join me?" I said, "Man, you going out to Hawaii, dude? You know, that's like 10 hours. I mean, it's like 22 hours from where I was at." I was like, "No, that ain't gonna happen." It's but he had a good time where he went touring. I mean, it is an opportunity when you're here because it's a big, it's like it's like my two Brit guys. They're always freaky when they come over. They're like, "America is big." I'm thinking, yeah, it's a big country. Australia's a big country, so it won't be as big an impact on you as it was on them. But
no, it's I think the difference is how many people. So I used to live in regional Western Australia, which is so Western Australia is half of Australia, and it's only got about 2 million people in it.
Damn,
that's one person per square mile.
Yeah. So I used to live up north in Karratha, which is a mining town, and it's 1,500 kilometers from the next major city.
Yeah, that's
500 kilometers from the next major person.
Yeah. I mean, you can drive if you're driving coast to coast. This sections you won't see anybody for a long time. Like if you get out in West Texas, it's like being in another world. All you see is windmills and billy goats.
When we moved from Perth back to Melbourne, we drove back, and it's like a 4,500 kilometer drive.
I think that's
3,000 miles or something like that.
That's what I think freaked the Brits out the most. They're like, they drive everywhere, and like, he said,
Britain's tiny.
He goes, he's like, but 2 hours is a long drive. He said, for an American, it's like nothing, and it is like nothing. 2 hours is nothing.
Same here.
You know, because we'll drive like like if I go out to Roswell, it's 16 hours from here. You know, sometimes I'll drive it straight. Sometimes we'll spend DC is about 12 hours, 13 hours from here. Now there's a bunch of cities close to me, like Atlanta's close by and Pensacola's close by, and New Orleans is down the street. There's a couple of other majors like Houston and Dallas. So they're all within 4 or 5 hours or less. But still, you know, if you can drive through forest and not see a person for 4 or 5 hours in Florida.
That's not a problem here. Right behind me, you see the windows there? Right below the windows there is Hollywood Boulevard. And that way, about 50 yards is the Chinese Theater. All right, he made it. Welcome, Michael.
Yeah, I've been to LA.
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah. You made it.
You know, I think I've been to LA like 28 times now.
That was a journey,
and still ain't ate there.
Yeah,
you got to figure it out, huh? Yeah, it can get a little witchy sometimes. Usually it works pretty well, but every now and again,
a little bit.
Well, so here we got Michael Kuester. So we have both Thomas Slee and Michael Kuester, the first place winners. So we talked about everything except their story. What's that? Kuester?
It's Kuester. I'm sorry. I meant to send an email ahead of time because no one pronounces it correctly.
Well, now I will. Michael Kuester. Okay, good.
That's cool. We butchered it. I butchered. He's way better at it than me. I'm always butchering somebody's name. So I tell people. Usually, though, we catch it before a show. We can find out what it is ahead of time, so it makes it easier. Yeah. So, man, so I'm gonna ask you just like I asked Thomas. What made you think you could write? Oh, did we lose you? You got froze up.
Oh, it's what made me think I could write.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, I mean, the answer I usually like to give people is that if I can do it, anyone can. But I'm honestly not sure what really started it. I guess when I was a kid, I always I lost interest in video games when I was a kid because I started realizing that I didn't like playing by other people's rules. So I got the idea that I wanted to create my own story. And I guess that's really where it started.
There's nothing wrong with that.
How many times did you enter the contest?
Let's see, lag.
So I entered the contest four. That was last year, and then 3 times this year.
So a total of 7.
Okay.
So, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, now
Not
you're back.
really.
Yeah, we lost you for a
It's
second
big
there.
lag. Are you on the phone there? Is that what it is? Or
Yeah, because we're definitely having a hard time. You're like 10 seconds behind us.
Oh no, I'm on my computer. I'm not sure. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
after a fashion, there's like a 5-second delay between when I ask you a question and we hear your answer.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Yeah, see, it must be some kind of interference.
I'm getting so difficult. Well, goodness sakes.
Sometimes stuff gets weird.
Last year, and then I entered 3 times this year.
Got it. And the type of do you write science fiction or fantasy? Because we can't talk about your story, but we can talk about what you like to write.
The way I like to put it to people is that I write, read, watch, eat, sleep, and breathe science fiction.
All right.
I do science fiction pretty much exclusively.
Got it. And we were talking about with Thomas, like you got near future science fiction, and then you got your further into the future, and then you've also can go into space opera and stuff like that too. So what type of science fiction?
I tend to write hard science fiction, usually about space travel, ideally about space travel.
Yeah.
So I do like space opera, but yeah.
Yeah, my first book that I got started with, I really got addicted to reading science fiction, was E. Doc Smith's Lensman series, and that's definitely space opera, and that was just I got just totally addicted. Then I read the Skylark series, which he also wrote, and then after that, I read Battlefield Earth by L. Ron Hubbard, and really enjoyed that too. That's more current. That was in the 80s, whereas Doc Smith was in the 40s and 50s. Have you read anything by Hubbard?
I wonder why we get that weird lag.
I have not actually.
What?
So I've read a lot of the classics of science fiction. That's really where I got my start.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you can hear me, so I got my start with the classics in science fiction. I read mostly though Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov, and of course Frank Herbert. Dune was a huge influence for me. I would say that Dune was probably the one book more than any other that got me to want to write, just because the idea of being able to write anything like that was a huge incentive.
I get it. Good. So now I was on a show yesterday, and the host there is in very close to Cincinnati. So she's all looking forward to meeting you and interviewing, because she's right near there. She's got a huge network that's Christian radio and TV.
Oh, wow.
And so she'll be coming out here this year to interview a bunch of people. But yeah, so she's like, "You've got a winner from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm so anxious to meet him." So anyway, it definitely makes it frustrating when there's this 5 to 10 second delay between asking you and hearing an answer there.
Yes, it's tough.
Yeah. So what are you most looking forward to coming out to Los Angeles?
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what the problem is. just honestly, just saying Los Angeles. I mean, I feel like there are two cities in this country, New York and Los Angeles, that really hold, I don't know, almost a mystique for anyone who's not from those places. You think about people who live there, about, you know, like the climate, about the celebrities all over the place, and there's a glamour associated with it, and it just feels like it's one of those things where like you have to see it at least once.
Sure. Any of the judges you're looking forward to meeting, or any of the different events during the workshop week that you're looking forward to?
Nothing in particular. I mean, this whole thing kind of came out of the blue. I was not expecting this. I wasn't expecting to win. I wasn't expecting everything that's come since then. It's been, it's wonderful, but also it's been overwhelming. I'm still kind of getting used to all of this.
I get it. So we've got Thomas is in Australia right now, and for him it's nice and early Sunday morning. So he writes now. So your stuff, Thomas, because you're also science fiction, but you like the near future stuff, right?
Yeah. So I think for the most part, like in novels, it's near future science fiction blending into thrillers. The one I'm writing at the moment doesn't have any science fiction or speculative elements at all. It's just a straight thriller. I do dabble with fantasy a little bit. Although even then I tend to like make it science fiction. Like if I was to write a zombie story, it would probably, like, the zombies would be animated by nanobots or something.
Yeah. 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 There's a lot of really good, that type of stuff. I'm looking for, there was an author, Craig Martell. Are you familiar with him?
I've heard the name. Yeah,
I've had him on as a guest a few times, and it's just a super nice guy. But he writes that type of thriller that you're talking about there. Just really, really good. He also writes hard science fiction. He does both thrillers and hard science fiction, both just really, really good. He was a Marine. He retired either captain or commander after 20 or 25 years, and had medical, because from whatever he was doing there, that he had the gas that messed up his lungs was a problem. So he then finished the military, became a lawyer, been there, did that. Then he went into writing, which he much preferred. So that's what he does right now. Yeah. And he teaches workshops all over the world. But it's he writes really, really good stuff. So he does that type of stuff you're talking about there. If you've not read him, he's a great author and just super nice guy.
I'll look him up. Was it Craig Martell?
Yeah, Craig Martell. So anyway, so Michael, then, do you have any favorite authors?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned earlier Arthur C. Clarke and Frank Herbert. As far as more recent authors, James S.A. Corey, like the Expanse series of novels, is absolutely fantastic. From beginning to end, every single book, I just devoured them.
Yeah, Joe, that's one of his favorite TV shows is Expanse.
It's actually the only series of novels.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
The TV series was fantastic, although
the books were better. Yeah. At least some of them were.
One of the things I loved about the TV adaptation was that even though they managed to make some changes from the source material from the books, it was still very, very faithful to their original vision. If I remember correctly, that's because one of the two guys, James S.A. Corey, the pseudonym for two people, one of them was actually part of the writing staff for the TV series.
Yeah, I didn't know that was. I've got a podcast I do, so I'm like, I rarely get to see any TV because I'm always reading the next book for the next week's podcast that I do. And so I'm always reading books as my favorite form of entertainment. Other than I am watching Wednesday. I love that series. It's just a real fun series. So it's totally different than anything else I read. But it's that's something that I've watched some of the episodes on. But otherwise, I'm just constantly reading.
Oh yeah.
So what's your plan now for your future as an author? So while we're waiting for him to answer, then what about you, Thomas? What's your future as an author that you see?
I'm so sorry. I'm still having connection issues.
Yeah.
I guess long term, I think I'd like to take it full time.
I'm going to try to reset my router.
Okay, great.
Take your time back.
Yeah, I'm going to try to reset my router. I think that'll help. One moment. I'll be right back.
Take your time.
Yeah, I think long term, I'd like to take it full time. Obviously, that's a long way away at the moment. I've got a mortgage to pay, so I've got to keep plugging away at the day job. But yeah, long term, I think it'd be something I'd like to do full time.
What do you do? What's your day job?
I'm an engineer. I work for a gas and electricity utility down here. And my job is basically to scope up brownfields projects for emissions reduction to meet our net zero targets. So basically, I help our compressors and valves and things like that stop leaking.
So it's nothing like building like these radar connectors to connect up with Elon's orbiting platforms that can then relay power to various parts of Australia, that type of engineering.
Yeah, I think that might be in the future. No, at the moment there's more boring old pipelines and valves and solar panels and power and gas-fired power generators.
Yeah. So this book that you're going to be sending me, is this first in a series, or is this a one-off, or what is that?
No, I think it's a standalone at the moment. Maybe if I have another idea, I'll be able to write a sequel, but I don't have any ideas for it yet. And there's too many other ideas I want to write.
Oh, that's totally fine. I don't know any authors that once you get established, there's no scarcity of ideas, you know?
Yeah.
And you'll definitely get that when you do the workshop. That's one of the things that you come away with is like the idea of writer's block is just, you know.
Whenever I get stuck, I just go and write something else for a bit while the back of my brain figures out what I'm stuck on.
Yeah, and sometimes the judges will also get just talk about what like Scott Card is okay, go back to where you lost interest in your story and pick up from there.
Usually when I get stuck, it's because there's a plot problem I haven't figured out, and I just need to like give it a rest for a bit while I think about it for a bit.
Yeah.
And so I'll go. That's usually when I go and write short stories. When all right. I'm stuck on this for a bit. I'm going to go write short stories for a month and then come back to it.
Yeah. What's your writing procedure? What do you do like as an author? Like schedule wise, you write early in the morning before you go to work, or do you go to work and then when you're home, you decompress and then you go to write it after dinner, or what's your schedule like?
First thing in the morning, usually. Yeah, so my girlfriend gets up for work, maybe like the least for work, maybe 2 hours before I need to. So I'll get up and make her a cup of tea and make her lunch for the day, and then I'll go sit down and write until I need to start working.
So do you work from home, or do you have to go into work?
A bit of a mix. So most of my team is based in Queensland, so it's like a 3-hour flight away. I'm the only team member in Melbourne, so there's no real driver for me to go into the office. But I do a fair bit of site work as well. So, like for example, all of next week I'll be travelling around rural Queensland, inspecting compressor stations. So as I scope up some upgrades for them, so I'll be in the middle of the Red Desert next week. It'll be a nice change from drizzly Melbourne.
Well, I get it. So on the various judges that we're going to have at the workshop, we'll have like Larry Niven and I think Rob Sawyer's not going to be here this year because I think I just saw him posting that he is a guest of honor at a major international conference in Dubai or something during that same time period.
Yeah, okay.
Where he's a guest of honor. But Tim Powers, Nydia Corfor, and Dean Wesley Smith, and Steve Sterling. And
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Yeah.
I think I was reading through some of their back catalogs when I was like flicking through the blog posts from last year and like looking up the ones I didn't know. I think there's some Tim Powers books that sound right up my alley. And there's one that was like, something about how like the World War II was like the final battle of a 300-year occult conspiracy. It's like, oh, that sounds right up my alley.
He's got his technique is he finds some period of time which is very interesting, and then he finds a hole, where it's like, and he fills the hole now with the supernatural or with the fantastic, and then links it all and works out a plausible explanation for what went down. So it's amazing. He's won 3 World Fantasy Awards. So he's amazing. So are you back up and running, Michael?
I believe so.
Good. Yes. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay. I'm not still on a tape delay, am I? Am I?
No, you're good now. We're good.
Sounds heaps better.
I'm terribly sorry about that. This is, of course, exactly how my very first interview would go. This is just very
okay. Trust me, you're gonna get lots more interviews. So don't sweat it in.
Well, fortunately, we're only to about 4.5 million people right now, so that's a good way to make it.
That's good to know. Yeah, it's only 4.5 million people will see this. That's great.
Yeah.
Actually, about 200,000 will see you, and about 4 million will hear you, and then they'll decide whether they want to come see you or not. That's entirely up to them. Because right now we're on Roku television, and we're also on Amazon Fire Stick, so they can get you on both. So they can see our lovely, beautiful faces on 8K television. Joy, wonderful.
That's great.
Oh yeah, I get people write to me all the time with 4K. Well, when we give stuff away, that's Bob the alien behind me, there's stuff in his eyeballs. You're not going to be able to see it if you're on YouTube or Rumble. You can try, but you're not going to be able to. If you get on Roku or Amazon on 4K and you can zoom in, you can see what's in there. And we do that. Sometimes we just ask questions because, matter of fact, they were telling John was talking about the Monroe Doctrine. I gave one of them away the other day. That one's mine, so it's not getting given away. But all the books you see on the shelf actually are all autographs, so they all belong to me. But
oh wow,
except for Mission Earth, notice Battlefield Earth. Somewhere up there is Mission Earth.
If that was a signed Battlefield Earth, you could sell it for I think $15,000-$20,000. So that one's not signed.
That's what I'm saying. I know that one's not signed. It's this thing that John calls a book. This is a library, by the way. The whole friggin' look at this thing, man. I mean, come on, you kill somebody with this thing. I mean, literally. I mean, you could hurt them. It's no, Jesse. I'm not giving this is mine. It's staying. It'll be here for a while. But we do. I tell this to authors all the time because there's actually winners. Well, this is actually Kevin J. Anderson's book right here. But a lot of these books, like these up here, you see, and some of the ones over there belong to winners. There's a couple other laying around here, that all belong to winners. I leave them up there all the time until we give them away during the holidays. Like this year, Christmas, we'll probably give away 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 books. How many of them we get our hands on? We'll give away. One of the local libraries is going to send me 300 books this year. God knows what's it's going to be. So, you won't know it. She said they're all in good condition. I'm like, that's fine. I said, we give away used books too. I said, it's just, you never know what's in it. And it might be some good stuff.
Yeah.
But we do. So I always tell authors, it's a good place to set them because they just sit up there. Right now, because we've been doing a lot of Writers of the Future stuff. So you see a lot of Writer Future books up there. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years worth up there, actually. And 7 of those I've been to. Yeah. Like this one right here, that's 39. This is a good picture on this one. This was pretty good. This is just some madman drew this. I know personally because I know him. He's mad. Good guy, though. He's a really good guy. Yeah, he's y'all get to meet. He's an illustrator judge, actually, is what he is. And then the illustrator judges are definitely different than the author judges. That's all I can say without getting myself in trouble. So we're gonna leave it right there. But really and truly, I was telling this to Thomas earlier, Michael. So, if there's somebody there you want to meet, or if you feel nervous, because a lot of times people get a little shy when they get out there around some of these big famous people. Just say, "Hey, Joe, will you introduce me?" I'll walk you right over. Say, "Hey, this is such and such." Because, like I told Thomas, they're there for y'all. They really want to talk to y'all.
You'll meet Kevin Anderson. You're talking about you love Dune. He's one that's writing all the Dune prequels right now, and is an executive producer of both Dune movies.
Yes, I give him trouble all the time too, man. So the very first time he told me he had anything to do, I had just met John, and then he starts telling me about the new Dune because they viewed that at Author Services. So I'm like, I enjoyed the first, and I say, okay, you're off the hook this time, Kevin. So what's next? He's like, well, you one of them kind of critics? I said, oh yeah, you're only as good as your last work, my friend. That's how it works. Yeah. And so I wasn't exactly happy with part 2. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I was how can I say this? I mean, I liked it, and I like the actors, by the way, in the new Dune. Not as much as I like the old Dune, but still, I like them. And I don't know. I think I miss the magic, is what I think I miss. Which, by the way, there wasn't that much in the book. That's really the difference. When you watch the old version of Dune, there's some stuff in there that they use to extend the overall power of the movie and the people that aren't exactly written that way in the book. But that's okay. I can deal with that. But I enjoyed the first movie a lot, but I also liked it because Patrick Stewart was in it. A couple of other people I liked that were in it. As I go in the working in the desert as an ass, I love that saying. But he was a lot of fun. Plus, the Brits took some we'll just say they did some stuff that Americans were like, what the? Did he just rip the tongue out and eat the thing? Did that just really happen? It's one of those things. We're talking about Dune, the original Dune, the first Dune. Yeah, yes. No, what they're doing, what Kevin and them are doing right now is they're actually taking one movie that should have been 3 movies. Well, the original Dune is great, but they squished it into one movie. The book was definitely for a trilogy. It's just one movie is just not enough to get all the information out of there. Right. And they tried to redo it with the other new Dune, which was a little weird. And then they did the Children of Dune, which was it got a little wonky there for a while. So look, I'm a sci-fi geek, so I'm gonna watch it no matter what. It's like Star Trek Discovery. If you ask me to watch it for Star Trek, I tell you don't waste your time. If you ask me to watch it for sci-fi, I said you'll have a lot of fun watching it. You cannot watch Discovery as Star Trek because it takes too many. We know how the Klingon War started. That's not how it started. So we already know all of that. We never heard about any spore drive in the entire how many series and movies there's been. There's just I mean, it got so bad they had to go to the future just so they could keep the series going. I mean, now I will say that, Strange New Worlds came out of it. So I'm happy sort of with Strange New Worlds, but I'm not happy with any sci-fi where I get 10 a year. That's why I quit watching Doctor Who. That shit, we're going to get 8 every 2 years. No, well, you know what? Keep your Doctor. I ain't watching it no more. How's that? Investing. It's sci-fi, people. You should look. In the old days, they were able to do 25 a year. In the really old days, they were doing 50 a year. Well, look at Doctor Who. That's how you know they were doing 50 a year. Look at the props were how can I say this nicely? Garbage
coupled together.
Yeah, they were just bad. When you watch them today, you're like, wow, really? I mean, there's good acting, there's a lot of fun in it, but it's what it is. Why'd you quit watching it, Glinda? Oh yeah, it did get politically correct. It did. The last 2 Doctors, even though Jodie Whittaker said she did not want to play some of these parts they asked her to do, she felt that it was going to upset fans, which it did. The last guy, what's his name? Tootie, whatever his name. He was funny as hell. Nobody liked him for some reason. I don't know why. He just, maybe it was that all splitting in half the Doctor and shit. I don't know. It was a little weird.
Anyway, just one thing I haven't announced. I didn't tell you about this, but Rise of the Future Volume 40 just won another award, American Book Fest, the 22nd annual Best Book Awards. Won fiction anthology's winner, so it got the gold award then for the best anthology, and that was for Rise of the Future Volume 40. So I shared that, but that just came in 2 days ago. I was pretty excited about that.
Yes.
So with all of you guys as winners there, so it'll be starting next year and then the following year. We always win at least 2, sometimes 3 gold awards for the Rise of the Future series, and so you'll be award-winning authors. So
there's some really good stories in a lot of these books. I've read a lot of them now. I like I said, I think I'm up to about 15 books. Some of them I can't find anymore because I know some of them went out of print, but every now and then I'll run across something, or somebody will send me something that they had in their house, been laying around. I got one, I think it was book 12. It's somewhere around here. It's kind of beat up. It looks like it's been through hell, but I mean, whatever it was well read. Let's just leave it at that. All the corners have been, obviously a lot of people read the book. So it's sooner or later I'll sit down and actually get to read through it. But John's, now they do audio books. So life is so much easier for me with an audio book, especially when they do them like they did for this and they did for Mission Earth. Those are beyond audio books is what those things are. Where's my mission? No, it's found here. Well, somewhere.
We have a family of 3 actors, the Mescamans, who like doing that, and then we'll get we'll have a 4th actor as well. So we have 4 people that will do all the stories in the anthology.
Can they do an Australian accent?
If we need to, yeah.
Well, Jim can do an Australian accent. I'll tell you that.
If we need an Australian accent, then we will for sure. We'll get that. We had one that was a story 2 years ago that was in the UK, and we had a UK actor do that story, narrated it. Because it was written in, so because if you write stuff in, like your English will be whatever you submitted, whatever you went with. So if it's UK spelling, if it's Australian spelling, that's what stays in the book. We don't Americanize it. So you'll have certain words spelled 2 or 3 different ways if it's in 2 or 3 different stories from authors from respective different countries. So we have Canadian, we have Australian, we have UK, and obviously American. And we'll have, I have to look and see how many different countries we have, but we've had winners from 52 countries so far over the 42 years. And one thing that's special, like I mentioned to Thomas when we got in, this is year 42. So with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. So we're going to definitely have fun with that. Plus, this is the year we break 1,000 winners. So we're very excited about that too. In the 42 years then.
Yes, they geek out a lot while you're there, just so you know. It's
yes. Yeah.
It's like a geek fest, man. I'm not sure the illustrators aren't more geeky than the authors are, so.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, some people have been spending a lot of time trying to make it out here and win. Some
now you got to be careful when we get to the hotel, man. They always got these groupie girls out there throwing themselves at you and stuff. So just you might want to be like this when you walk in. I'm just trying to help y'all out, man. I don't want to see y'all get mugged or nothing. We have to keep track. Y'all, somebody may drag you off somewhere. So after all, it is LA. You got to be careful. What's that, Jesse? Yeah, man, they out there chanting and stuff. Yeah. Actually, what was it? Year before last, they had a big country concert going on. Oh my God. Oh, thank God I had friends there. I may have been taken away somewhere.
we quite frequently have premieres. So
yeah. And they always do that radio show every year, which is a lot of fun. I always enjoy that.
The radio theater. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, old school radio.
In our first floor, we'll sit up and we'll have a live radio theater of one of the stories. Usually it's the one that's in the book, but we'll have various, because we're in Hollywood, so there's a lot of actors. So we'll get actors coming in and they perform, and they love doing these things here.
Yeah.
Some of the judges, that's their favorite part of the week.
All of them so far I've enjoyed. So
yeah. They're really with all the sound effects and stuff. So so it's a real fun week. And we have one of the fun nights too is when we have we call it the barbecue. And so I think it's like Tuesday night. And that's where we, on the roof, will cook up a bunch of hot dogs and burgers, and then people will make different stuff. And then we convert the library into a huge space where we set up tables and everybody's in there eating, and we have the judges and the winners, and then we have various special guests come in, and they'll all share, and that's a chance for you to actually meet all the other judges, all the other winners and stuff, and just have a chill time with everybody, which is a lot of fun. That happens with the nights, and then the other really special night is when we have the big reveal, and that's where all the illustrators will have your art for all the winners. The writer winners will be on easels in the theater where their room is, and then they'll be standing around the outside of the room there, inside there, but they'll be on the wall. And then we open the doors, and you, as writers, will walk in, and you have to walk to and find your art. And as soon as you stand by your art and realize this is, then the illustrator comes up and introduces themselves to you as the illustrator. It's a real special moment. It's amazing where,
a lot of tears.
A lot of tears, yeah. And when you find somebody else's vision of your story and how they brought it to, image life, it's just amazing, because usually a writer thinks in terms of words. You think of stuff, descriptive words, but then an illustrator doesn't think in words, they think in images. And so when you write something, they'll get it and they'll get a picture, and then they'll illustrate that. So when it comes together, the writer quite often says, wow, that's so much better than how I envisioned him or her or it, the scene. And because these guys, as you guys are now stepping up the world of professional, that's what's happening to illustrators as well. Because now this book is recognized, because you're paid pro rates, it's now you're classified as professional. So, and that's how you're treated by the judges, as pros. So they won't treat you as like, okay, here's a fan coming in for an autograph. They'll come to you at the gala asking you for your autograph. It's surreal. You're talking about Kevin Anderson or Tim Powers or Orson Scott Card, the guy that wrote Ender's Game, coming up to you saying, can you give me an autograph? It's like, it's very much a surreal moment to have that people that you've been reading since you were first able to read. Larry Niven, the guy that wrote, so much. I mean, he's a grandmaster science fiction, and so you get these guys coming up to you for an autograph. It's pretty trippy.
Oh my God. Orson Scott Card coming to me for an autograph. That would be when I knew I made it.
Yes. Yeah. No, and he loves it. This is his favorite. I mean, he's been a judge for 30 years, more than 30 years. And this is his favorite, for him, his favorite competition, because it's the only one that's really is blind judge. It totally levels the playing field, because it doesn't cost anything to enter the contest. It's open to anybody that's amateur, and it's free to enter. And the judges only ever see a number. It's one of those things that nobody else can offer that. So if you win the contest, you really are in that top percentile of writers and editors. So you got the editors of Tor and of Bain Books and of other publishing houses and magazines read the books to check out, who's the next class of writers that they're going to be looking for, and following. And that's what you have now with as a winner of this contest, which is what was originally created for to be by Orrin Hubbard. That's what he did, as he was when he was a writer in the 30s and 40s. He was always helping other writers. And then when he started this contest in '83, it's just, Patrick Rothfuss with his Name of the Wind. He said, I can honestly say I would not be where I am if it wasn't for Writers of the Future. And so many other writers, this was their kickstart. This is what got them going. And then Kevin Anderson, Rob Sawyer, several other authors, Dave Farland, I think, Tom, you talked about, you did one class with him. That's how he got his start. And then Brandon Sanderson, he got an honorable mention, and it was at a time when he had submitted several novels but wasn't getting anybody interested. So he was like, is this really the right path for me? And when he got an honorable mention, he said, okay, good. I guess I just need to persist. And he did, fortunately for all of us. And he became today now the best-selling fantasy author. Rob Sawyer was an honorable mention. He won multiple times. Honorable mention, he never won. He pro'd out. Kevin Anderson pro'd out. Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King. I talked to him some years ago at the American Library Association. Asked me if he was familiar with Rise of the Future. He said, "Oh yeah, I submitted. I got an honorable mention." You know, so it's amazing the number of people that got their start or their initial inspiration through Writers of the Future way back when, which makes sense. It's over 4 decades.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm listening to y'all as Lowe says, "Where you been hiding at, man? When you're coming back?" I didn't remember giving them my email address, by the way. I'm going to rethink that part.
So anyway, so I know we're getting close to being done for the day.
Yeah,
so
we got to go in a second.
how do people reach you, Thomas?
Probably the best way is my website, thomasslee.com. There's contact form and stuff. I sadly don't really do social media. So yeah, that's probably the best way.
Well,
have to
we'll
work
have
on that.
that decision next April when you're there for a week-long workshop.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, social media is
my arm
important.
twisted.
Yeah,
But I hate it. I hate it so
Oh,
much.
I don't blame you for hating it, but hey, look, I'll tell you a little secret. This station has 46 social media pages. 46. Now, a lot of stuff is automatically published, but between those 46 pages, there's probably 1.5 million followers. So it's when we need, like, if we're out whining about we need money for this or that or the other thing, you have built-in followers. So like when you get to certain points, once you get a following built, it's much easier to sell stuff. It's also much easier to get stuff to go viral. But I'll tell you a little secret. TikTok is as good as Instagram, Facebook, and the rest of them all combined. That's how many more people are on TikTok than they are anywhere else. What it is they're more engaging there than there. I try to stay off. I ain't gonna lie to you. I try not to use TikTok because I don't like them on my computers because I got $100 computers for the station. But still, it is a great place to advertise at. And people spend money over there all the time. But I mean, you got Facebook and Instagram and all the rest of them, LinkedIn and X. Then what's the new one? The new Twitter. I can't remember the name of it now. But
Blue Sky.
No, Blue Sky.
Oh,
Yeah,
Blue
the
Sky.
guy. Yeah. So and actually, I think Elon's suing him over that. Sounds like he might lose $1 billion or so. Well, no, there was some agreement originally that he wouldn't start a new because Elon was paying him $44 billion. They wouldn't start a new one. So it sounds like there may be a lawsuit going on. Yeah. Who knows? You got as much money as God's. Who cares? I mean, come on, dude's worth $500 billion. I mean, and he just signed that new deal with Tesla. So if everything goes right, in 3 years, it'd be worth $1.5 trillion. Really.
Goodness.
Yeah. But he does have 15 kids. So what is that? $100 billion per kid. Yeah. $100 billion per kid, man. I mean, that's rolling, man. Come on. Anyway, we got to get out of here.
And then Michael, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, I am on social media all over the place, and you can find me right at Michael T. Kuester on both Twitter and Blue Sky. And my website is I'm on WordPress, kuesterwrites.wordpress.com.
Okay, great. All right, well, it's been great meeting you both, and I very much look forward to seeing you in April. And then do send me your book there, Thomas. I'm very interested.
Yeah, I'll bug Maliva or Jody for your email address.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Christopher,
Thanks very much.
Yes.
You bet.
Yes,
Okay.
Chris. X is popular too. I'm not hating on X. It's popular too. Jesus. But we got to get out of here. No, I have hosts and I'll do all that stuff. And that's the other thing. Not only do the station has 46 pages, but every host on this network, all 44 of them, all have several media pages. All of them. So when you combine it, there's a lot. That's a couple hundred. But it's just a way, it allows us to put ourselves out there. It's like the 200 and something archive servers we're on, the 200 plus live servers we're on. Plus, we just added 5 specialty servers, which we'll start counting those numbers pretty soon. So, just the more places you are, the more people that can see you, the more books you can sell. Yep. And then one day, you just retire, or you can just hire somebody to do all that nasty social media stuff for you. These days, I got people who do that. I do. Don't get me wrong. I do post. I'm not gonna lie, I do post from time to time, or I do fight with people, like, because I host, like last night, I host a 4-hour political show, and I'm a centrist, which makes me, how can I say this nicely, an equal opportunity hater. So I can hate on the Democrats and the liberals, and I can hate on the GOP, and whichever one's aggravating me the most that week, I can hate on more. So it's really nice for me. It makes for really fun radio. So, but all of those people are potential buyers, every one of them. That show has 5.5 million listeners. This one has 4.4 million listeners. That's 10 million listeners that we have access to just in 2 shows. We host more. And John show, which I think was somewhere around 3.4, 3.5 million today. I couldn't tell you exactly. I have to get the book, but that was earlier. That was just before this show aired. So he's got Writers of the Future airs just before this show, and then following this show is a show called The Chat, which is the most popular show on our network, and it's always 5 million plus listeners. Always, it's completely, entirely listener orientated. Whatever the audience wants to talk about is what we're going to talk about. Sometimes it is seriously insane. Sometimes it's what we call food porn. And ladies and gentlemen, food porn is not actual porn. It's just talking a lot about sexy food, not literally sexy food, just hungry food. And so somehow I got coined porn, food porn. Don't ask. I don't know. So, that show does. And then following that, one of the former winners of Writers of the Future, Sean Hazlitt, host through the dark. He's got that screwy ass title, Through the Darkly. I can never say it right, but he hosts. He comes on right after The Chat. So that's just tonight. And between those 4 shows, there'll be over 10 million listeners just hanging out just for today alone. And then we broadcast 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And right now, like I said, we're handling right at 40. I'm going to say right at 40 live shows and 44, 45 hosts. And makes for interesting radio. And then all that syndicated stuff, which is, they got enough sci-fi in this network. Or probably, if I really didn't want to listen, I could probably just go from show to show, listen to sci-fi all the time. It's but they also can't write, so they use this thing, so they don't have to write. But if you ever get a chance to get John, let y'all listen to Mission Earth, it's worth the year it takes to listen to the thing. It's okay, it took me a year to listen to the thing. It's 10 books basically. It's really good. The first, I'm always honest about this because I want people to see it through. The first one is a little on the slow side because it's just character building. After that, the bad guy just gets more ridiculous as it goes on. It's but anyway, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it or seen it yet, but it's listening to it's a lot of fun. One day they'll turn it into a movie, hopefully, and maybe one day they'll remake this one and do it correctly, man, where it's 3 movies instead of 1.
Yeah,
Battlefield Earth would have been a great movie if they wouldn't have tried to cram it into 1. I don't know what that is with Hollywood. Hey, let's just stuff it all in a damn movie and we'll see what comes out of it.
Because science fiction's expensive.
yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't
It
want
is
to spend the
expensive.
money on it.
yeah. The budget for any book written is way more than Hollywood could ever come close to affording.
It's just one of them things. But anyway, guys, because we got to get out of here. You two, I look forward to seeing you. Oh, we'll talk again before when he starts booking everybody with the 4. So it'll be like 4 authors together. It's just so y'all can get to know each other before we get to thing. And then you see both John and I in Los Angeles. We were both doing interviews the whole time. Remember, everybody you're going to meet there is friendly press. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
we
not.
arranged that.
Yes, it's all friendly press, and there are people like myself and Carmen that are around that ain't gonna let nobody who ain't unfriendly around y'all. So, y'all haven't met Carmen yet. He's like Bigfoot, but he's as tall as Bigfoot anyway. Yeah, y'all get to meet him. He's like an Amazon up there. I don't even like talking to him because I get nosebleed staring up at him. Carmen, what you doing up there, man? How's the weather, man? He's a nice guy, really is. Well, y'all probably met him. He does a lot of booking for the show, so
yeah.
And you'll get to meet him in person while we're there. But anyway, we got to get out here. I want to thank both of y'all for being here today. Guys and girls, again, like I always say every week, if you got any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, feel free to write to Michelle DeRoche. She handles all that lovely stuff. And she loves when you write to her, by the way. She loves nice letters and send it to her. And if you're really hateful, just, she's a voodoo witch, so be careful with that hatefulness. You may find yourself missing fingers or something. On that note, good night, everybody. Stay tuned for the chat. It'll be on about an hour. It's an insane topic tonight. I think it's something called the insane world tonight. So it's going to be an insane topic. I have no doubt about it. And one of our hosts who've been out, Kevin Surgery, is back tonight. And another one's also back tonight. So come join us. Check it out. Have a lot of fun. Listen to all the crazy people. That show goes out to about 180 countries. This one goes out to about 165 countries. So does the Writers of the Future, goes out to about the same. So lots of people around the world listening. I know right now we're on, we are in this weird thing in Australia. I guess in America, we'd call it satellite television. I don't know what you actually call it. We just call it OzzyCast because that's the company that we deal with. Has some kind of branch through some other company down there. But we originally found them because we were doing research in Queensland on Pine Gap. And we had a crew down there. And somehow or another, we met this television. They're a television satellite company that provides satellite television, but on the backside of the satellite, they've got all these like radio stations and channels and all kind of other bull crap where they stuffed us in there just because we were out in Queensland trying to find out what the hell was in Pine Gap. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got to go. But if you want to know what, okay, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what Pine Gap is the Joint British Defense of Outer Space. It's in Queensland, Australia. It's a big, huge, massive research base that it's not supposed to exist anymore, but does exist fully functioning and operational daily. But that's what it does. It is the British United States Defense for outer space, and it's in Australia. For some reason, Australia don't have anything to do with the facility. It's very confusing. That's all I can tell y'all. But we got to get out of here. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning into United Public Radio and the Authors Quill. I hope you really enjoyed the show. We'll see y'all again on the chat. And until next week, have some fun. Enjoy life. I mean, it's really and truly, even if you live to 100, it's only this long. Good night, everybody.